Yo, what's going on, guys? So, in the real world, right, the Professor Andrew, not Andrew Tate, just Andrew, he's the copyright and chorus professor. He actually recommended us this book called The Influence, Make Friends and Influence People, a book like that. So, I downloaded that shit as an audiobook, Audible basically just fucking copy and paste the fucking YouTube. The fucking YouTube audio onto their shit and then ask you for money for it. So I might as well just go and get the audiobook from YouTube, So that's what I did. And really, what I learned from there is that you gotta, if you really want to sell or do any type of thing, you don't want to concentrate on yourself because that's what we all do. We all concentrate on ourselves. We always want to be, and that is good for what you want to accomplish. If you want to accomplish something in your life, like go to the gym or some shit like that, that's incredible. That's great. You can concentrate on yourself on that point. But if you want to concentrate on your social skills and your actual influence skills also, then you have to actually focus on the other person, on what their needs are, and what their wants are, and what their desires have been, and what they have accomplished. You know what I mean? And I've really seen that that resonate with me. You know what I mean? Because I never used to fucking remember people's names. So until now, I actually start remembering people's names and calling them out by their name every single time I see them. And it actually makes a huge difference. Like even asking for a favor, instead of being like, "Hey man, can you do me this?" You can be like, "Hey Kevin, can you please reach that for me?" You know what I mean? And they'll do it with way more enthusiasm. They'll do it with way more appreciation because you actually fucking remember their fucking name. You know what I mean? It's like then he said something in this book, right? He said that the name is the most beautiful language in the whole dictionary for them. Like it doesn't matter anything that's going on in India. It doesn't matter what's going on in Africa. They don't give a fuck. They only care about their problems at the moment. And you can see that in every person, you know what I mean? Even myself. I could give a fuck less about what's going on in Ukraine. I might be really controversial because like people are suffering over there and shit like that, but it's like, bro, I got my own problems. I just fucking nailed the fuck out of my finger. You can see that shit, bro. Like, goddamn, like it looks purple and everything. I was fucking hammering some shit. I fucking nailed the fuck out of my finger. I was like, goddamn. And so that's and it's like that's a small example. When it's like, but that's actually the only thing you actually care about. Your own pains, your own desires, and your own shit. So if you really do understand this and apply it, you know what I mean, and actually talk to people the way that it's like you more not to be catering. Now, I'm not talking about catering to people. I'm talking about really resonating with what they got to say. You know what I mean, listening. You got to be a good listener also. You can't just be fucking talking over people and shit like that. You really got to listen to what they got to say and piece it together. Um, if y'all follow like people like Taekwondo and shit like that, then they will really open your mind on this type of shit. They talk about going deep and not wide, but that's like a whole different category from this. You know what I mean? It's like you really got to be a good listener. You got to listen to what the fuck people are telling you. You got to be like, okay, I understand what you're saying. So with this in mind, can you do this and that? And they'll really go through it. You know what I mean? I even asked like my boss. I was like, yo, how the fuck did you did you start out doing this shit? You know what I mean? You're curious. You're curious. You're not doing it for the sake of anything. Not like I'm looking for a raise. I'm looking for this. I'm looking for that. You know what I mean? I'm not looking for shit. I'm just asking. You know what I mean? You really got to have that genuine curiosity if you want to build any type of good relationship. Because even if you notice, it's going to be a really good breath of fresh air when people are actually curious about what you got to say. You know what I mean? They're like, oh shit, did you really think about that? And you're like, yeah, man. And then you go on a whole long ass spiel about how you think about that. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man, really do try and be more of a good listener, and listen to what people got to say, and don't cater to them though. Just be like, yeah, I really do appreciate this fact that you're talking about. I really do appreciate these points that you're talking about. And they'll really go in depth in it, and they'll appreciate your fucking word for it, and you'll gain way more friends, way more meaningful friends, and influence a lot more people that way. And that is something that you will apply in selling and copywriting and shit like that. So it's actually really important if you really want to manage any type of business. You really got to be still in your own mind. You know what I mean? You got to be still in your own mind. That's why I dropped that other video about mindset. You got to be still. And once you gain that stillness, then you will be able to succeed in anything you want to really accomplish, bro. And it's like really influencing people is the power of the fucking universe. You know what I mean? Like fucking, if y'all watch One Piece, it's like the power to influence people is way fucking stronger than anything else. You know what I mean? So, and that is actually true. So yeah, man. With that said, that's it for this video. Catch y'all later, bro.